Welcome to the National at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center outside of Chicago here in Rosemont, Illinois. If you're a local here, we just call it the Rosemont Convention Center, but if you're out of towner, it's going to be a Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Welcome you to the show here. We have 2 days of filming to be able to kind of share for you. We have some highlights of like what was there to be able to purchase. We're going to walk around the show today and talk, hopefully get some interviews from people that we meet, possibly other people that are on YouTube, hopefully, maybe not, we'll see. But we'll definitely get an idea of like what's at the show from like modern to vintage. The show's a little bit different this year than the last time it was here 2 years ago. It's about twice the size. And I would say there's a balance between modern collectors and vintage collectors, and there's a whole bunch of corporate booths that are taking up a good portion of the floor space as well. So let's go inside, let's walk around and show everybody what we were able to see. Good, I got 2 orders to drop off.
Both take home?
Both take home, yep.
Good.
Changed my mind after I did my first one and didn't want to do another one, so.
All good. Give me 1 second.
I did have one question for you.
Is it? Yes.
I read on the website you typically want them this way. I have thicker cards here. Is it okay if they're in top loaders instead? Okay, perfect. All right.
Usually that's like when you're submitting it from your house to our house.
Okay.
Keep it in card safe.
Perfect. You saw them yesterday. They've been on my channel. Sorry, I thought I was going to submit, but the biggest one is probably Yogi, and there's one in here that's a little bit bigger too. So the Medwick Hall of Fame cards. I think some of these are unopened for sure. Yeah.
This is so good that you almost should charge to look at it. That's how good it is.
Where else do you see all this stuff?
Nobody can afford it, but it's unreal.
Unopened stuff from the 30s? That's wild.
I was going to have a Wilt Chamberlain,
All right.
Bill Russell.
That he should almost charge to look at it.
Like a museum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah. These are kind of museum items.
Like I never knew that for 40 years, I never knew that there was a pack of 1966, 67 Bobby Orr here. Like that's fucking awesome.
Wow. Yeah. I've never seen some of these before, obviously. Hey, it's cool seeing the stuff from the 30s.
You got the showcase.
I've never seen those unpunched. Those are so cool.
3 of them together.
Wow. Where are the players? Is that Aaron and... Oh, no, it's Clemente, I think.
Yeah, unpunched.
That's so cool.
Nice.
I forgot what you were supposed to do with those. Was it a game or something? I can't remember what the point of it was. Yeah.
My good friend Mitch. He creates content on YouTube. Mitch, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, thanks, Dre. Thanks for having me on your channel. My channel's name is whitesoxfancardcollector. We've recently gotten to a lot of live streams talking about baseball sets in particular with other YouTubers. All around the country typically have been jumping on there to be able to help out. I show a lot of vintage cards. We talk about the White Sox. We do a little bit of soccer as well. And yeah, there was just a little bit of modern in there every now and then, but we're definitely a very vintage-focused channel.
I learned a lot of the vintage cards when you tell me like the sets that you're building, like when you were collecting that 67 tops.
Yep.
When I'd go to card shows, I'd be on the hunt looking for those cards you were missing, but that set's complete.
Wouldn't have finished it without you. Yeah, we finished it
Wow.
last summer. So
It's complete,
and
so-
the complete set's on the channel too. If you want to look it up,
Yeah.
it's all there. Every single card I put in that set is in there. So
Me and Mitch grew up
Yeah.
like a couple of towns apart, but same thing. We would go ride our bikes to local 7-Eleven, play arcades, collect cards. So it's great. Look, here we are in 2023, still collecting cards, still in the hobby.
at the biggest national I've ever been to.
Yeah,
This thing's massive.
yeah. It's our first, but it's
Yeah.
great that you get to share it and enjoy it with your friends. So we got a couple of our buddies over
Yep.
here, Ravi, Naveen. Yeah,
Hey,
you
how
guys
are
having a
you?
great time?
Oh my God, we're having a great time. It's really hot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But cooler than outside, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we've been trying to find aisles that have like a draft,
There you go. There
and
you
then
go.
like hang out with those dealers and see if they have stuff we want.
Well, this is what it's all about. Hanging out with your friends and your buddies.
Kid played with that card for sure. That's fun looking at some of the old cards that have that imperfection. Fun. Looks unfamiliar. Don't. I think I have him. Oh, he's got a writing on it anyway. Kid wrote his name on there. Just so you know, that is Joe's card. There's some Hall of Famers in here. Kids had fun with these cards. It's writing all over them. Wrote the team name on there, the Dodgers. Then he tried to wipe it out. This one looks kind of okay. Do I need it? 109. Yep. This is Johnny Pesky. Okay. Yeah, there's a crease. Yeah, it's creased. These are rough looking. These were like taped into an album. Have a tape residue. He was good because the kid wrote good on them. They released these as black and white setting. They were meant to be colored at the end of the season, but they ran out of money. It's Johnny Mize. They're both creased a little bit. Yeah, it's creased pretty well. That one is too. Bob Lemon, creased, damaged. Here available for the right price, but I think it's actually through an auction. You can actually own a car once owned by Michael Jordan during the Bulls championship runs. You can see this is a 1996 Mercedes owned by Michael himself. So feel free to pan the camera over and take a look at it. So. I don't know how that man fit into this car, but he did. And look, there's still a cigar in the council. I'm joking, but yeah. For 23 bucks, you can get in the auction, Ryan. You've been looking to deal for a new car, right?
Oh my God, look, they do that.
Yep. No. It's up to you. entrance to the main showroom. It's actually taking up all three of the parts of the main showroom here at the convention center. What was different this year is you had to go up this escalator over here and actually go into a different showroom and then come down an escalator and enter into the room if you had general admission, because they couldn't handle people just coming in the main entrance this year unless you were had the VIP passes. It was pretty crazy. It was busier today than it was when we came on Thursday, so it made it really hard to be able to do any interviews, unfortunately, today. But we did pick up some really cool stuff as we walked around, and wanted to be able to kind of share that with you in a moment as we kind of do our wrap up. We're going to be heading out now. If you have an opportunity to get out here, the show's still open on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great selections still left because there's a ton of vendors. All right, we're heading out now. So. All right, well, we're back from the show. We've been back for a few hours now. We got a chance to get some late lunch, early dinner, and now we're kind of doing our recap, and we have some cards to kind of show off here in a minute. But Ryan, what'd you think of the show? You've gone to your third one now, right? What'd you think of this one as far as the third national event here in Chicago?
I thought it was really fun. There was a lot of just things happening, a lot of cool cards to see, a lot of people, a lot busier than I remember from the last two shows. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of just different things all over.
Yeah, to kind of point out the big differences from the last time it was in Chicago, the last two times it was in Chicago, is there's three sections on the first floor for the convention center where they could have exhibitions. And the first year we went, they took up just a third of it. The second year the second time we went in 2021, had 2/3 of it. This way they filled up the entire first floor. You actually had to enter in through the second floor, which was kind of confusing when you first got there. And then you just kind of entered in. There was massive people, especially on Friday. It was so much busier today than it was on Thursday, and I thought Thursday was the busiest I've ever seen the show in my memory, except for maybe when I was like a little kid, when I went in like 1990, but I was like half of my size, and I thought everything was big then at that point. It was what you kind of expected, as far as like having a large collection of vintage cards. The modern dealers were much more present than they were in previous shows, at least in my recollection. And the corporate presence was very noticeable, where they had like huge breaker pavilion that you had to walk through to be able to get to the other side, so you couldn't miss it. And then they had all the major grading companies that were there on site doing things. Topps was there, Panini, Upper Deck. A lot of the auction houses were present there. It wasn't just kind of the big ones. I think just about all of them were there that I've ever heard of. And they had like their premium items up there for you to be able to look at. I thought it was kind of interesting too, and I don't know if you noticed this too, Ryan, but I didn't see a lot of big purchases per se when I was like purchasing cards at some of the booths. But I did see a lot of dealers buying a lot of cards from people selling their cards in their Pelican briefs, boxes and stuff as they would come out. And we're talking like thousands and thousands of dollars, like purchases at once. It was pretty impressive just kind of seeing like the sort of turnover inventory that was kind of happening there. What were some of your observations that you kind of walked around as far as what you saw? Like you spent a little bit more time on the modern side and also looking for Pokemon cards, which you like as well.
Yeah, so I mean, to go off of what you said, I mean, I did notice a lot of people who were making deals with the dealers and the other tables and booths, but more so, yeah, that was where I saw a lot of the money. I didn't really see a lot of people spending a lot of money on the cards from the dealers, but really the other way around, dealers spending money on the cards from just the people who were showing up. And that is another thing I noticed. Like, I remember the last couple of times we went, most people just had backpacks or they just had little bags with their cards in it, but this time I seen almost every single person with a big case, protective case.
Except for us.
Yeah, except for us. But everybody had a big case, or like they had the roller case with just a bunch of different slabs and other cards, and it kind of... I was just like kind of thrown off because I usually see that a lot for like other, you know, kind of equipment, whether it be for like people who film a lot of videos, camera equipment, or audio equipment. But seeing that for cards, like I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, it's like people are bringing their entire collection to shows, or at least their other high-end stuff, with the intent of like moving into higher cards or being able to sell them. So that's something that's kind of noticeably different than in the previous years where I've kind of gone to shows where You didn't see that as much. I had been seeing it happening a lot in regional shows, and it just seems like it was like building towards like something like this at the national. We did go to the YouTube meet and greet that was hosted by Mike Moynihan and the Baseball Collector network YouTube channel last night. That was a lot of fun. We had a chance to meet some people there, and we actually even received a gift from one of our viewers, and I'll get a chance to show that to you here in a minute. But what did you kind of think of meeting some of the other people that make YouTube content?
I thought it was pretty cool, you know. I always see a lot of, like, I watch a lot of YouTube. I see a lot of YouTubers always, you know, connecting, like, in person, doing these kind of different meetups. And, I mean, it was just really cool just to see a bunch of people who are interested in the same thing kind of just hanging out all together. Maybe for the first time, maybe not, but it was fun. I mean, there was a lot of people. I seen a lot of people even, like, showing the cards that they got from the show, or just you know, interacting with each other and really just showing how much they love the hobby, and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, and that's where you told there was like some money being spent there too. Just you know, I think I didn't see that as much, but there definitely were some people buying some really cool pre-war cards that were willing to share them, and then obviously people being super thrilled with like getting mantles and things like that too, which because a nice lead in to me kind of like leading into some of what I purchased at the show over the last 2 days, and I'm willing to kind of go through it, and as I normally do with the videos, and I hope everybody kind of enjoys. So if you get this video and get a chance to watch it while the show's still open, get out there on Saturday and Sunday. I'd say one day you definitely can find stuff, but 2 days I think you'll definitely have a better experience because you won't be as rushed trying to be able to find ways to kind of find the cards you're looking for, because it took me actually 2 days to find some of the cards that I was purchasing today. All right.
Let's get into
some cards, man. Yeah, let's do it. All right, well, the first thing I got is actually something that came in the mail. I got the Eric Gagne card from 2001, Topps Gold. So that was just a recent item that I had ordered, and I hadn't arrived by the time I did my last video. So I actually got all vintage stuff from my set. So I'm actually going to start with the cards that are not graded, leading into what is graded. So we're going to start with some 48 Bowmans here. So we have Sheldon Jones there from the New York Giants. We have Billy the Bull Johnson from the New York Yankees. Whitey Lockman. I believe he is in the Giants, if I'm not mistaken in that one. Yep, the New York Giants at that point. This is Emile Verban. This is Philadelphia Phillies. Frank Shea from the Yankees. Tommy Heinrich, all-time great Yankee there. And Jack Lorkey. This is also from the Giants. And if you're familiar with the set, it's mostly cards from the New York Giants and the New York Yankees in this set. So it's only a 48 card set. I have one more card to show you when I get to the graded ones too. But those are the Giants, or the 48 Bowmans that I was able to pick up. All right, the next set of loose cards is actually two different packages I have here because they didn't all fit into one. And we will also start with the high numbers, go up to the front. Only one really big name in here, we'll get to in a minute. So we got Mickey Vernon. These are 53 Bowman colors from Washington Senators. Omar Turk Lown from the is that the Chicago Cubs or the Cleveland Indians? That's the Chicago Cubs. Larry McGinnis from the St. Louis Cardinals. Toby Atwell from the Chicago Cubs. Ken Wood from the Washington Senators. Let me put these away, and I'll put a couple more out here in a minute. We got Bob Addis from the Chicago Cubs. Put over there. Here's the big one I got that's not graded. Ralph Kiner from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Hall of Fame. Jim Hearn from the Giants, the New York Giants. Willard Marshall from the Cincinnati Reds. Bob Kane from the St. Louis Browns. Move these a little quick here. Put these back. Marty Marion also from the St. Louis Browns and a St. Louis Cardinal legend. Walt Druppo from the Detroit Tigers. Sammy White from the Boston Red Sox. Billy Lowes from the good old Brooklyn Dodgers. And then Harry Shitty, I believe is how you pronounce it, from the Chicago Cubs. And I got a couple more Bowmans to show you too from 53 when I get to the graded stuff. So we'll move that off to the side. All right, so the next big group of ungraded stuff are going to be 64 Giants. I'm actually going to be showing you some other ones in a minute, but these are loose ones that I got. We have Jim Fregosi, Jim Maloney, Dick Wickerstrom from the Tigers, Dick Stewart from the Boston Red Sox. I got all these for like $1.50 each. Tommy Davis from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Move these real quick. Max Alvis from the Cleveland Indians. Galen Cisco from the New York Mets. That's actually one of the SPs. Vida Penson from the Cincinnati Reds. And Ken Boyer from the St. Louis Cardinals. I have a few more of those to show you in a minute. So, all right, actually, let's start there. Let's go from newest to oldest as we go for graded cards. We'll finish with the older ones. So let's start, again, we're going to stay with 64 Giants. And we got a nice little 5-card graded lot I got all from the same dealer. And actually have one other card I got from that dealer as well. But there's one really big one in here, and I was able to negotiate a price on all of the cards that I was happy with, even though there was not much of wiggle room on the big card in here, but the other ones we were able to kind of come to terms on where I still felt like I was getting a really fair deal, and he couldn't have been the nicest guy in the world. And actually, he was at the YouTubers meet and greet the following night too, and found out we had a lot of common as far as like being from Illinois, and he was also a Cardinal fan too. He lives downstate. My family's from downstate. So anyway, long story short, first graded card I got was an SGC 6. We got a little bit of a glare at this lamp over here. I'll move that out of the way. Whitey Ford, the chairman of the board. Here's the big one, the Mick. We got Mickey Mantle, and SGC 6.5. Really pleased that one, and they have a really good looking backs on these. The other ones, the loose ones, actually almost the backs were still white on here. You see the big difference how white these are in comparison to ones that have been a little bit more exposed to sunlight over the years. I thought that was really cool seeing how white they were. So there's the Mick on there. We got the Killer, Harmon Killebrew from the Twins. We got Bob Gibson in SGC 7.5. I think this is just one of the more beautiful cards I got from the weekend. Or not even the weekend, but from the week so far. Then we got Carl Yastrzemski in an SGC 7. So we're going to put these in the back as sort of our backdrop for the rest of the cards. Move it back a little bit so it gives a little more space so we can actually start using our stands for the other ones. So anyway, that's our backdrop there for those cards. Maybe move the camera just a little bit so we can capture all those in there a little more easily. There we go. All right, so I mentioned that I had a couple more Bowmans to show you. Let's start first with this one here. We have Robin Roberts in SGC 3 from the Philadelphia Phillies. Give me a chance to see it a little more closely first. I'll move it on. And then from the same purchase of all these Giants in the backgrounds, I was able to also pick up these SGC 4 of Roy Campanella. Really pleased to be able to pick up that one. Thought that was, for me, one of the best parts about the deal, was being able to add Roy Campanella in there as well. So I'll move these guys over here. All right, then I have one more Bowman from 1948. This is the one I picked up today and actually spent a good portion of the last 3 hours of yesterday and then the good portion of all of this morning looking for this card. And I finally stumbled upon it, and at the price I was wanting to actually get it for, and that is the Warren Spahn rookie card from 1948 Bowman. So I'm looking pretty good on that set right now. So let's put, there we go, Warren over here. And we're down to 3 more. So I'm going to move, maybe put Warren in the background. I'm going to take this one out of the way. Maybe put that in the background over here as we kind of make space for the last 3 that we have to show you today. All right, looks like he's a little bit out of focus there. So these are all from the same set. It's a set that I've been working on for a little while, and I've talked about it a lot. I think it won't come as a surprise for me to show you what I got. One card took me all of last afternoon to be able to pick it up, and that'll be the last one I'll show you. But first we have a 1935 Diamond Star Ernie Lombardi. This is actually the one his name is misspelled. Here he is with the Cincinnati Reds. Lovely Art Deco set that I've been working on. I'm actually up to 25 cards now, which is getting close to a quarter of the set. Today I was able to get Hall of Fame manager, but in this picture a catcher, Al Lopez. Managed the White Sox for a period of time, as well as the Cleveland Indians back in the 50s. Had a lot of success. Probably would have maybe won some World Series if it wasn't for the New York Yankees, who kept getting in his way as a manager. So we got Al Lopez. We'll put Al Lopez on the side here so you can see it a little bit better. And then my final one to show you is one that took me all yesterday afternoon to be able to find. It was one of my targets going in. So I got 2 of the 3 that I was kind of looking to be able to pick up this weekend, which was also the Warren Spahn. Did not get the Luke Appling for this set, but I did pick up the Al Simmons. And that was the Al Simmons in a 4.5. You can see a little bit closer here. And that is it. That is my pickups from the show. Hope you guys had a great time looking at my recent additions to my sets. Just as a quick little recap, Diamond Stars, I have about a quarter of them now. I did an inventory of my 53 Bowmans, and I actually have half the set done now. I also have just over half of the 48 Bowman set, and I'm down to just 5 cards for the 64 Topps Giants. So I'm definitely making some good progress, and I've been working on these for close to a year now. So let's see what the next year will kind of bring, or the last few months of this year, after I have to take a little bit of a break to kind of heal up from this great week that we just had at the National. Any closing thoughts, Ryan, before we kind of sign off for the night?
I would like to say that these cards are beautiful, although I'm not gonna lie, I don't know any of these players at all.
You know Mickey Mantle.
I mean, I've heard the name, but I don't know them players. But I did enjoy, going with Uncle Mitch and finding these cards. I mean, they're really, really good to look at. I mean, I was talking to him about just the photography from my standpoint. I really do enjoy how the cards look and everything like that. But overall, I mean, another successful show. I thought it was very fun, and I can't wait for the next one.
All right, well, with that said, we are out for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment, like the video. If you're not a subscriber, please jump in there and subscribe. And feel free to reach out to me in the description of the video. You have my email address. You also have links to my Facebook page and also Instagram. All right, till next time. See ya. Hey, I forgot one last thing. So this is kind of like a Marvel movie. We got some stuff in the credits here. Met some great YouTubers that I've reached out to and been parts of their channel. They've subscribed to me. They gave me some gifts and stuff when I came there. So, like, first of all, we got Stuke, his channel. He gave us all cards of himself there, and also had a little gift in there for us. For me, it was a Nolan Arenado. So I was pretty happy to get that. Ran into Reindeer Studios, and he made little pictures of the portraits, or the paintings that he's made on his channel. So there's Hank Aaron, and also there's Christy Mathewson. So that was really cool. And then one of my longtime followers, one of my earliest followers, this guy's named Jason, comments a lot on my videos, was nice enough to bring gift to me, but also a gift to other YouTubers that he follows. So for me, he gave me a 1956 Sherm Lauer. And I wanted to thank all of you who brought gifts, but also all of you at the YouTube Meet and Greet who took the time to be able to talk with me and meet me. I definitely was very appreciative, and I was very grateful throughout those interactions. All right, and I'm very sorry I almost forgot about that, but I'm glad we got it in there. Now for this time, for seriously, we are done. Good night.